Hey guys, welcome back to the Modeling Edge. It's Nick, and today I'm doing something a little bit different, but still RC. However, just like with the tires I painted on my Vortex, this is going to combine the two hobbies. So as you can see, I have a TT02 Mercedes-Benz AMG body. I just started doing touring cars. I love the way this body came out. Looks great in my opinion, but I thought maybe you guys would like to see how I paint them or just how to paint RC bodies in general. So that's what we're doing today. Now I have another TT02 body. This one is of a Porsche 911 Carrera. And all I'm going to be doing is basically walking through how I paint it. So to get to this stage, you got to cut the body out. It's a little rough around the edges. Clean the body. I use 91% Disporal alcohol and a cloth, or you could use paper towels, whatever you want. Just clean the inside so the paint sticks. Don't take off. You can see like up here, for anybody that hasn't done this before, these little strings are part of the protective outer coating. So all RC bodies, for the most part, come with this film that you'll peel off, and so you leave that on when you paint it because it will protect from overspray. So you'll see as I go through the stages of painting this, it'll get dull on the outside and a little gross, and you'll see all the colors. But once you peel it off, gloss finish, just like that. So second step after all that, or third step really, is masking and then picking out your colors. Now, the hardest part for me going from the tabletop with miniatures to RC is that all RC bodies are painted backwards. And that's because the clear outer shell, you're painting them from the inside out. And so to briefly explain, my AMG body is 3 colors. So you have transparent green, silver, and black. If I flip it over, it's all black on the inside, black being the last color, what we would call a primer coat for miniatures, which is the first coat, that's the last. And I'm basically making this video to show you how that works and how we do things, so stay tuned. Alrighty, so it helps to do this during the daytime, but I have work during the day, so this is what I got. For this one, I am using Tamiya PS54 Cobalt Green. And you're going to do a real light coat for the first coat. You want to have it be mostly transparent, and you want to just work back, forth, light, just like you would use any normal spray paint. Has to be polycarbonate spray paint, otherwise it will not flex with the car as you're driving it, and it'll get ruined. So this is going to be kind of awkward to film, but I'll do my very best. As you can see, real light coats, especially around the mask, you want to just mist it. That's not only how you get a smoother finish, but it helps with overspray. You don't want bleeding under the masks. So it looks pretty solid right now. That's going to be it for my first coat. I'll just touch up the tops and the rears parts I didn't quite hit. But if you look at it through light, you'll see that it is almost completely see-through. That is normal for a Lexan body. That's coat 1. You'll see some speckling there. As the coats come on, these little spots and mess-ups will slowly disappear. So I'm going to do, what I recommend is 3 to 4 coats of your first color. So I'm going to do 4 coats of this, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the second one. Body looks like after about 4 coats. It's a pretty solid color. And so now I'm going to back it. Backing it, like I said, is like the primer coat. So same thing as before. This time I'm using the Ultimate Gloss Black for Chrome from Spastix. I just like it. You could use any gloss black. I find it makes colors pop, especially things like fluorescent green. You can see the mask coming up there. Hopefully it didn't bleed too much. You can see some bleed. Now, fun fact, that's one of my guys that knows you can actually remove bleeds using alcohol. Just be real careful. So I have some bleeding over this body. So I'll go through it at the end of the project and remove it with alcohol, kind of clean up the windows a little bit. But same thing as before, just real nice, easy coats. And something I didn't mention when I was putting on these coats is I'm trying not to go too thick, but you can see it's already a lot thicker of a coat than I did with the green originally. You still don't want it to pool, so I'm trying to be real careful. But as you paint, you can make the coats thicker. The more paint goes on, less worried about bleeding. Now, obviously, because I do have those mask bleeds, I'm a little bit cautious of it. But you also don't need as many. I'm gonna do 3 coats of black like I typically do, but I think for this body, I really only need 2. I just prefer 3. But yeah, so that's about it. And then when that's done, you can already see the colors becoming a little bit solid, a little bit more solid, a little bit more defined. Alrighty, sorry for the shaky cam in this vid, by the way. I'm trying a new mounting solution to keep my head out of the shot. Listening to the guys in the comment section, just trying to find a way to get the hands-on while filming, but hopefully it's not too terrible. This is what the body looks like in the light, if I could get it sharp, but that is what backing does. Sorry, that's left-handed, but that's what backing does. It's essentially just sealing in, but also enriching the color of the body. So we're done now. All that's left is remove the masks. I'm not going to do that on film. I need the protective layer of tape, apply decals, clean up. Not really doing that on film, but that is essentially how to paint an RC body. And hopefully you can see it. I can't really get it through the light, but you'll see that a lot, if not all light coming through the body has been eliminated. And that's the point of backing, is that now it is a solid color. However, what I will include in this video in just a few moments after I pull the masks off, because again, I'm not gonna do that on camera, is I'm painting this body for a client. And to do 2-tone colors, which I tried doing on my Stampede, which didn't work, is I was masking it just like on the tabletop for miniatures, painting the darkest color first, then removing that mask and putting the backing color on it. It's very hard to do and very messy. The way to do it is back it like this, and I recently learned this, so hopefully it works. Back it, finish it. This is now metallic purple. That's all it's gonna be. And then remove all these masks and then put your second color on, because it's not going to show up through the black. So I'm going to remove these masks and then I'll paint this and hopefully it'll work. Alrighty, so before I start the next portion of the video, I thought I'd show you, since this is a smaller body, I can keep it inside while it's drying. I did mess up on the mask angle for a bit there, so it's not completely straight, but this is what I'm talking about. So all these, hopefully it'll focus, all the speckles of paint, you see it's black, silver, purple, you can see it better on this back stripe. If it'll focus, please. Yeah, well, that made it worse, but there you go. So all that, this is on a protective coating. This is not overspray on the inside. That's on the outside. And so when I remove this, it'll all be clear. And so now that it's completely back, you can see no paint's gotten under here. Now I can apply my second color and know for sure that it's not going to bleed through the black. So just a close-up for that. I know I already said it, but just wanted to give you a close-up now that I've removed them. So let's get painting. So the principle for this is going to be the same, although you can be a little bit more liberal with the coats here. So you still want to be light, but you don't have to worry so much about buildup or pooling in certain areas because the masks are, of course, gone. Now around my windshield masks, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, but other than that, oops, sorry, paid attention more to the body than to the camera. Yeah, essentially that's how you do it. So it's going to still be, like I said, essentially the same principles as you can see up there. I need to get more paint down in here. You don't want it to all at once or it'll pool and ruin all of that. And I know I said I backed it. Fun paint fact for my RC guys, if you're watching this, and I hope this video is being helpful so far, something you learn in the paint world is, especially when you're using spray paints, they all have accelerant in them. That keeps the paint thin. So if you pull it, even though I have the black protects it from overspray. What it doesn't protect it from is if it pulls down there and something touches it or it doesn't dry properly, it will eat the other layers of paint because now you're having more accelerant pooling in an area. So you still want to be real thin and light. So it's going to take me about 3 coats to fill this little spot in. But I will show you guys what it looks like after the 3 coats, and I take all the masks off, and hopefully we'll have a good 2-tone finish. Alrighty, so I removed the masks, and here we're going to talk about the 2 different types of mask failure. First one is on the little truck for my client. As you can see here with the window blobbing like that, that is pooling. That is paint getting up under the tape and just sitting there. That's why it's just little blobs like this. Bleeding, which is what you're gonna see if I can get it to focus, is like on the Porsche. That is either a mask didn't sit down properly all the way, or like around back here, some of the ridges were covered, but others weren't, so paint seeped in and bled a little bit. Both can be removed with just isopropyl alcohol. So you're gonna take a little bit of alcohol, not a crazy amount, put it on a cotton swab. And you wanna be as careful as possible with this, just because too much and the paint will run. But you're just gonna put it on the inside of the body where the paint is. I'm gonna try to do this on camera. You don't want to destroy too many of the layers beneath it. There you go. Now that's been resolved. There's some residue from the masking tape also left in this window. Oh, my bad. Also removed. And so I'm going to go around that body and do that, and it is the same process. A little bit more alcohol. It is the same process for bleeds. I don't do it a lot for bleeds just because it's a little tricky to know where to stop. And if the paint can pool in the recesses, so can the alcohol and compromise the entirety of the paint job. Yep, see, like that. You don't want that to happen, but as long as you're careful, and the reason you want to do this before removing the protective coating is I'm also going to smoke these windows, which is just a clear black paint. You just want to get it cleaned up at least a little bit, so that way that paint doesn't sit in there all crazy. That's it. And then I'm going to do the rest of it. I'm going to smoke out the windows, and then when we come back, I'll remove the protective coating and we'll be done. Alrighty, so some of my footage from taking the actual protective layer off got deleted. So unfortunately I don't have that, but essentially I was just peeling this off. You can see all the overspray, and I'm showing you what the 2 bodies look like without it. Clear and glossy in the back. Remember, this was all covered and matted just from overspray. A few points of failure for me here was I didn't fill in this pink enough, so now the black has shown through a little too much and made that pink very dark. But other than that, everything looks good, and that's why you want to leave the protective wrap on absolutely throughout the entire process. Like, even leave it on when you're applying smoke to the windshields, because that can also create overspray and dull your final product. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is just how I paint RC bodies. There's a million different ways to do it, but I hope for anybody that hasn't painted them or is a little intimidated, this has helped. It's not so hard, just a few steps. You can do a lot of custom paint jobs on your RC cars. It's a really cool and fun part of the hobby. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you want to see more RC content. And for my miniature guys, I will be doing some videos in the future with models again, but I've been really into RCing right now. And as always, Have a good one, and I will see you next time.